In October 2022, President Joe Biden implemented stringent export controls aimed at restricting China's access to advanced technology and slowing its military advancement. These controls prohibit the export of cutting-edge chips, chip design software, chip manufacturing equipment, and even U.S.-made parts used in manufacturing equipment to China. Furthermore, these rules extend beyond American companies, affecting any global company that utilizes U.S. semiconductor technology, which includes virtually all top chip manufacturers worldwide. Additionally, U.S. citizens, residents, and green card holders are now barred from working at Chinese chip firms. In essence, the Biden administration is trying to prevent China from obtaining the most advanced microchips and the equipment needed to produce them. These microchips are crucial for driving innovation in areas such as e-commerce, robotics, medical imaging, pharmaceutical research, self-driving cars, and much more. The U.S. has made it clear that it intends to keep these cutting-edge chips out of China's reach. However, there's a catch. The U.S. strategy to block China from acquiring advanced microchips might not be working as intended. Take Intel, for example. Their shares have plummeted by 26%, and the company is planning to cut 15,000 jobs. In today's video, we'll explore why Biden's export controls on China aren't as effective as expected, and how efforts to contain China's rise might have backfired. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel XRAINER to show your support. The U.S. is at risk of losing access to the world's largest market. The U.S. semiconductor industry is a major player, employing over 1.8 million Americans across at least 44 states, and generating $264 billion in revenue, according to industry reports. However, by cutting off access to the Chinese market, which is expected to be as large as the combined consumer markets of France, Germany, and Italy, and expecting taxpayers to cover the difference with subsidies, these jobs could be in jeopardy. China is Intel's largest market, accounting for nearly 26% of the company's revenue in 2023, just slightly surpassing the U.S. Before PC sales declined post-pandemic, China was an even bigger part of Intel's revenue. As China strives to reduce its reliance on Intel, particularly outside of government and state-owned enterprises, an even larger portion of Intel's revenue from China could be at risk in the coming years. This would make it even harder for Intel to recover in the PC and server CPU markets. Meanwhile, Chinese telecom giant Huawei experienced its best growth year in 2023 since 2019, despite U.S. sanctions. These sanctions were first imposed on Huawei in 2019 when the Trump administration labeled the company a security threat, a claim Huawei has consistently denied. Then, in August last year, Huawei shocked the world by unveiling the Mate 60 Pro smartphone, powered by a homegrown chip that U.S. sanctions were supposed to block. The fact that Huawei managed to develop an advanced smartphone with 5G support without relying on key American components left industry experts stunned, signaling that Huawei and Chinese tech have reached a new level of self-sufficiency. Meanwhile, Apple has been feeling the pressure in China. iPhone sales in the country plummeted by 19.1% in the first quarter of this year, as Apple faced fierce competition from domestic brand Huawei, whose smartphone sales surged by an impressive 69.7% during the same period. All of this points to one conclusion. U.S. export controls and sanctions on China haven't just fallen short, they've actually accelerated China's path towards self-sufficiency. China is striking back. As the country works to reduce its reliance on foreign technology, the government has introduced new guidelines aimed at replacing Intel and AMD processors in government PCs and servers with domestic alternatives. Additionally, they are planning to phase out Microsoft Windows and other foreign database software. State-owned enterprises in China are also being urged to cut their dependence on foreign hardware and software, with a deadline set for 2027 to complete the transition. But that's not the only issue worrying the West. Legacy chips, which are found in everything from washing machines to cars, TVs, and medical devices, are becoming a growing concern. While these chips aren't as powerful as the cutting-edge semiconductors used in AI, they are becoming a significant headache for the US and the EU due to China's dominance in this market. Washington has already blocked Chinese firms from accessing the latest and most advanced chips in an attempt to slow down Beijing's tech ambitions. Now, the focus is shifting to legacy chips, where China controls nearly a third of the world's manufacturing capacity. With limited access to advanced chips, Beijing has significantly increased its investments in producing mature chip technologies. Last year, China announced a $40 billion state-backed investment fund to boost domestic semiconductor production, prompting calls in the West for action to support their own chip makers. The West fears that if China masters legacy chip manufacturing, it could flood the market with these chips, driving prices down sharply, much like what happened with solar panels. As a manufacturing powerhouse, China has already gained control over much of the supply chain, giving them what many consider an unfair advantage. Over the next 3 years, China's legacy chip capacity is expected to grow to 39% of the global market. Some reports even predict that China will add more chip-making capacity this year than the rest of the world combined, producing 1 million more legacy chips per month than last year. And it's not just China in the game. India wants a piece of the action, too. The Indian conglomerate Tata Group is investing $11 billion to build its own chip foundry in Dholera, Gujarat, which could further contribute to potential overcapacity in the chip supply chain. Meanwhile, Taiwanese chipmakers, who currently hold nearly half of the world's chip production capacity, are shifting their focus to advanced chips, along with the US, South Korea, and Japan. However, as China ramps up its investment in legacy chips, Taiwan's overall market share might be at risk. In short, US export controls and sanctions on China have not only failed, they've backfired. According to a report from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, these measures have hurt US tech companies while failing to cut China off from key technologies. Instead, they've fueled innovation in China's tech sector. The report notes that while the US aimed to deny China access to strategic technologies, there's no evidence of reshoring or friendshoring as a result of these disruptions. Affected suppliers have seen negative abnormal stock returns, wiping out $130 billion in market capitalization, along with a drop in bank lending, profitability, and employment. U.S. firms have lost customers, revenue, and market value, essentially suffering a total loss despite the technology export controls intended to protect them. Meanwhile, Chinese firms impacted by these sanctions are finding new suppliers, and China is ramping up its own innovation and self-reliance. So, what do you think? Do you agree with this analysis? Share your thoughts and leave your comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel XRAINER to show your support. Thank you for watching.